Halloween 2025 was time for the return of our Diagon Alley. How much was reassembled from last time compared to what was improved? Well, let's see. After hauling all the pieces from storage a couple days before, we started our labor of love working all 3 days of Labor Day weekend with several dedicated house elves braving the heat with us. My plan of using the shop colors as puzzle pieces worked pretty well, plus I had anything not obvious labeled on the back. The stage flats bolt together using the same holes as the first assembly, pounding as necessary with a persuader. Our first leaky cauldron was a very small triangle, but we had several reasons to build it larger this time. So after I mapped it out with tape, we bolted those flats together, screwing them together at the corners, and more braces behind. After a door install consultation visit using even more shims, Glenn and I continued assembling the ground level of the redesigned pub. Monday, we were ready for reinforcements to arrive to continue with the upper flats. Glenn insisted I direct from the ground to make sure it all met my specifications, all of us taking many cooling breaks in the shade and much appreciated misting fan. I constructed the 2 mini flats all by myself to fill the gaps in the second level, very glad I paid attention during previous builds and had a work table in the shade. I did help up on the ladders a bit. We added braces over the top of each corner and across the middle to hang the chandelier. Then finally, as the light was fading, the hardest part of this build was finished. Hooray! The following weekend, we had painters inside the pub, while more helpers with bolts, washers, nuts, and clamps got the palm tree corner settled in position and braced with the tree, then assembled the other long wall of shops, anchoring along the way with angle braces and our other 2 trees. We celebrated another milestone with a selfie, of course. Next was attaching the shop window support 2x6s and attic box supports, which all needed one person aiming in front while the others screwed from the back of each stage flat. It was easier to anchor the 12-foot-tall signposts at the same time. It was finally time to add the Honeydukes roof panels. It was a bit tricky since we had to remake a few of the roof supports on the top of the flats, but thankfully only a couple shingles fell off, which were an easy repair with a pneumatic stapler. I was worried about figuring out how everything went back together since I wasn't able to watch this original construction, so I was super happy we actually did it. We've even had electrical help this year, which is great. We painted aged plaster walls in the larger leaky cauldron, even working through an unexpected downpour. Already within the first 3 weeks, we had built new shop windows for Nocturne Alley, started adding crown molding trim over the shop windows, and started painting stone blocks on Honeydukes like I originally envisioned, and thankfully only minor touch-up paint on the shops, handled by several of our crew over several sessions. After I personally painstakingly painted all the gold lettering again so our shops would shine, our new 250-pound British phone box finally arrived, carefully unloaded with Glen plus girl power. We quickly varnished it just in the nick of time before it rained overnight. Then, since the door didn't shut properly, we changed the hinges to open the other direction. Functional lighting brought life to our little street, and our proud painter was finally finished with our stunning stone on Honeydukes. As the build crew finished the crown molding on the rectangular shops, I personally tackled the tricky trim task of heat-bending PVC molding around my curved can shop windows. After matching paint, they did look fabulous, even if no one else noticed these new details. Thank goodness so many of our Halloween helpers are pleased to paint, since we sure did a lot this year. Finally, it was time to unwrap all the carefully packed hinged windows to screw them to the shop structures. Thankfully, they all survived packing and transit, and only a few panes of glass needed additional rubber and metal washers. But of course, they needed touch-up paint, too. At last, it was time to add the animatronic spells and all the window dressing, plus more magical minutiae like crooked cauldrons and bewitched bricks. Even Nocturne Alley was enhanced with its new glowing petite potions, shop windows, and brick walls. Then it was time to start the show. Our clever crew, our cast members, and over 6,000 guests thoroughly enjoyed our Wizarding World Halloween 2025 over 13 nights. But sadly, then it was time again to dismantle Diagon Alley. The early November storms didn't do too much damage, and we had a week of clear enough weather to pack all the props, take down the microphones, speakers, and other electrical. Then Glenn and I removed all the windows and shop structures in time for our weekend warriors to return for the heavy help. Basically, we reversed the order of everything we built, with me labeling anything new since that was sure helpful when assembling this season. The upper walls of the pub supported each other at the corners, so those came down first, leaving the fence side up since its braces helped support Ollivanders. Nocturne Alley came down quickly. Then the house side stage flats unbolted almost as quickly as the guys took down the Honeyduke's roof, ready to continue unbolting that wall so we could stack the flats against the house. The fence wall easily unbolted to Ollivanders, then the front 12-foot 2x6 braces came off while the top flats were held in place to carefully guide them down after unbolting. Then all the stage flats were stacked to the side. Since we had plenty of help for the unbolting, we ladies set up a table in the center to wrap windows, doors, and roof pieces the entire time, and we still were not done while everyone else was clearing the driveway to make room for the moving truck in the morning. Everyone deserved dinner sitting down in the backyard with some freshly grilled burgers. We hired help lifting and moving the heavy stage flats for the first truckload. Then we were able to beg a few Halloween helpers to haul it home and unload at our storage unit, even carefully angling the precious phone box under the doorway. We still need to organize our storage better, but at least the Eerie Elegance estate was back to its normal beautiful self again. Until next Halloween...